Hey guys, I'm Simulator Tech, and today I'm taking a look at a rather interesting keyboard. Well, it's not so much the keyboard, but the way it's sold that's interesting, but I'll get to that later. This is the V75 from HiexaKey. Inside the box are a bunch of parts, including dumbbell and thock gaskets, some screws, case feet, and a USB dongle for 2.4 GHz. Next up, we have the PCB, which is this gorgeous purple color. It's hot swappable with layout support for 7U spacebar, step caps lock, ISO, and split backspace. I like the fact that there are no flex cuts, so the sound won't be compromised without foam. Recognize this? Yup, it's the magnetic connector that we saw on boards like the Neo 70 and 80. This makes it easier to install and remove the PCB assembly. The included plate is a very simple palm plate with no unnecessary cutouts. Finally, we have the board itself. In the case are a bunch of foams, including plate foam, PE foam, and this very light and airy case foam. It's rather unique and not something I see often. Here is a little rubber piece that diffuses the LEDs that illuminate the logo on the right blocker of the top case. At the bottom is a clear plastic sheet that will keep the PCB from contacting the metal bottom case, which could damage the PCB. The case itself is very sleek. As you can see, I have a silver unit. The top and bottom cases are held together by a ball catch system, just like the Neo 80 and JRIS 80. This makes the build process even faster and more convenient for those who like to mess with their configuration. Additionally, we have these rubber pieces on the bottom case that I assume act like a built-in force brake mod, reducing the ping that comes from the contact between the top and bottom cases. Of course, there's our magnetic connector on the bottom. One of the main visual draws of this board is the side profile, which features this angled piece, giving it a layered look when the top case is attached. Even crazier is this sick brushed stainless steel weight on the back. There is an option for a mirror weight, but that's going to attract fingerprints and my sweaty fingers would ruin it immediately. Anyways, enough about the board, let's start the build. First, we'll start with the PCB. Unfortunately, the board doesn't come with stabilizers, at least mine didn't, so I used a mix of stabs that I had lying around. I'm not using any foams for my build, so on goes the plate. For switches, HiexaKey sent me some of their Royal linear switches. These are pre-lubed linears manufactured by Texi, and I think they're pretty solid. Not the greatest pre-lubing process I've seen since a couple of the switches had a bit of leaf noise, but the top and bottom out sound is very crisp and clean. This board can be mounted using plate dumbbell gaskets, PCB sock gaskets, and top mount. In this clip, I'm installing the dumbbell gaskets, but I will provide sound tests in all three of the mounting styles. Here we have the super intense installation of the assembly, which took me forever. For keycaps, I'm using a simple white on blue iFace set sold on Amazon under mint caps. These are some of my favorite keycaps because they're cheap and the legending is very consistent and clean for the price. They also sound good, which is a bonus. Unfortunately, the low price means there's not a lot of layout support, so I'm using a 6.25U spacebar. Alright, let's hear how it sounds. I'm pleasantly surprised. They all sound good, but in fairness, there's not a ton of difference between them. The build is on the clackier side and handles no foam like a champ, with no case ping and minimal hollowness. My favorite configuration was the top mount because I felt like the alpha sounded really good. In terms of feel, the two gasket mounts were roughly the same, with a good amount of flex and gasket compression. The only outlier was the top mount, which is expected, but there is still a lot of assembly flex, so it's not a harsh typing experience at all. Overall, this board features a great design, great sound, and a super accessible build process. However, the most interesting part is the way it's sold. On HiexaKey's website, you purchase a bundle of 3 keyboards, a number pad, and with some bundles, 5 sets of 100 switches. The 3 keyboards include the V65, V75, and V80, which all have very similar design elements and specs to the one I'm showing off in this video. If we take into account the sheer amount of items that come with the bundle, you're actually paying significantly less than $100 per keyboard for boards that sound good without foam. That is crazy. Some people have questioned the legitimacy of this bundle because it sounds awfully similar to the Kyubi kit that was being offered by Enland Keys, which many people initially believed was a straight up scam. And while it wasn't a straight up scam, with some people receiving products from them like the Molly 60, the shipping times were abysmal and many people have been waiting on purchased goods for months without any word from Enland Keys. Additionally, the QC on their boards was really bad, so that just adds fuel to the flames. Of course, HiexaKey is not Enland Keys, but the bundle they're selling sounds really similar to the Kyubi bundle, so just be wary. Considering how many reviewers are getting their hands on actual boards, I have a good amount of faith that it's legit. In the case that you'll truly be able to buy several keyboards of this quality at this price, this is one of the best value propositions in the keyboard space right now. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for watching, and thank you HiexaKey for sending me the board. See you guys later. Bye!